Hello, my name's Brian. I'm an agile management consultant, and earlier last year I left the smoke of old London town and headed north. Welcome to glorious Yorkshire. Now I'm using the agile management practices to get stuff done around the house. We have some grand plans on the roadmap. But plans are nothing. We've actually got to get stuff done. But if agility is just a bunch of silly words to you, then don't worry. Stick around. Just enjoy watching stuff getting done. If you're after a masterclass in timber framing, then this isn't it. Most timber framing is done with green oak, freshly felled. And I'm not using that, I'm using air-dried oak. So it's a lot more like cabinet making than timber framing. Most timber framing is done with hand tools, adzes, froes, chisels to hand cut the joints. I can do that, I have done that before, but it takes time. And the one thing I don't have is a lot of time. If you're here for a masterclass in the compromises necessary to get things done, then maybe you're in the right place. A quick recap. We're building a timber-framed lean-to here against the garage to protect the lawn tractor from the Yorkshire weather. Previously, we've gathered our requirements and constraints. 218 centimetres, 86 inches. With those requirements and constraints, we were able to put together a design. And in order to check the design works, we prototyped some of it. Oh, and that. Oh, that is so nice. That's really good. The prototype worked, so now we just need to get on and fabricate it. I have a checklist, an order of operations in order to fabricate the pieces. This was drawn up as part of designing the pieces, but also incorporating knowledge and insight gained from fabricating the prototype joint. I actually messed up the prototype joint. Might not have been obvious last time round, but I started machining the wrong face. To ensure that I don't make that mistake again, especially on the expensive material, the templates themselves have gained instructions to remind me of things to check before I actually put cutter into the timber. If I do make a mistake, it's £100 per piece of timber and 2 weeks delay as I source new material. Not something I want to be doing. I just prototyped one of the joints. There are a number of other joints in the structure that also need to be checked before I commit to fabricating them wholesale, namely the brace joints. I need a brace. If I mess this up, I have one spare piece of timber for the brace. First job is to cut the timber in half. Braces are only 50mm deep, as the tongue and groove sits behind them and some stud work behind that to support the tongue and groove. The cut has to be made in 2 passes on the table saw, so isn't perfect. A couple of passes through the thicknesser brings it down to the required 50mm and smooths out a slight lip between the 2 saw passes. The router cutter can only take a small amount of material off at a time, so the bulk of the material is cut away with the bandsaw, forming a rough shape that the router then makes perfect. More templates guide the router to remove the material to form the tenons. That's the brace done. But to check that it fits, I need to fabricate a post. The top we've prototyped. We know how that works. And courtesy of having done it before, this time it goes a lot smoother and quicker. Check that the mortise is on this side, and it is. Yep. The last thing to do with this template in place is to use it to position that. Double check against that one. Once I flip that over, that is going to be in the right place. Cover that one so I can't drill into it. Just to prove everything is in the right place. That looks like it's in alignment there. Good. And that's looking hopeful. And outer edge, ooh, at the moment it's just sitting at 40. By the time we've fiddled and stuff, that'll be perfect. Agility is all about solving problems. Most of that was done during the design phase. Fabrication is following the instructions. There is still agility though. It has moved down a level. It is, how do I solve the little problems? How do I lift the timbers onto the stands? What is the most efficient method of removing material? How do I get a piece of timber level so that it is ready for machining? We are not blindly following the instructions. We are still required to think. And of course, sometimes agility needs to kick in to solve problems as they occur.
Oh, no! Ah.
Drills do not come with an undo button. I can't put the wood shavings back. What's done is done.
No, you've just everything up.
My options are to start again or to try and fix what we've got. Well, it's bound to happen. I wasn't paying attention. And I've gone and ended up drilling into the wrong side in the wrong place. I can probably fix it. I can machine out a hole and just make a patch. I machine out the hole further to get it square, then carefully plane down a spare piece of oak to match the hole and glue it into place. Major learning point here. Do not design a template with two holes because you'll inevitably drill out the wrong hole. I remembered thinking about this when designing and said to myself, no, don't worry. Only a handful of holes to machine. It'll be fine.
Further away it's hard to see.
3 posts complete. Now it's time to fabricate the beams. I spend time getting things level, using thin strips of plastic to pack out the template. If I don't do this, then the tenon wouldn't be square. Then it's just a case of following the templates.
Do my checks. Shoulder hole is that side. That's good.
I use the template to shape one side down to the level of the tenon. I flip the beam Then use the opposite template to shape the opposing side. There is some manual work to remove material the router can't reach.
Everything is lining up. That's looking good.
One beam is simple, plain, unadorned. The other beam forms the top of the wall that is protecting the lawn tractor. It needs notches to locate the stud work that is supporting the wall. The wall is tongue and groove cladding. A groove is needed for the top piece of tongue and groove cladding to locate into.
Moment of truth. And then yes, that's nice and tight, possibly too tight. The thing about hardware is the further you go, the more machining you've done, the more it's going to cost if you have to start all over again from scratch. That groove, simple though it is, God, that was nerve-wracking. That was nerve-wracking. But it's done. The nice thing about the physical world is that it's easy to see progress. Unlike the digital world, we don't need post-it notes to visualize things. It's there in front of us. 3 posts, 4 braces, 2 beams. All machined up, ready to go. I still have to machine the sole plate and the softwood rafters, but that is for another day.